Hi, this is Aastha, and welcome to the fourth episode of Unstoppable. Unstoppable is a series of video podcasts wherein we are featuring stories of young people with disabilities who have shown us that nothing is impossible and sky is the limit by overcoming the challenges imposed before them. Today, in this session, we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Saurabh Kumar sir, who is a CSE undergrad from IIIT Delhi 2023 batch. He has been a former software engineering intern at Microsoft, and currently he's serving as an SD1 at Microsoft. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for taking out your time and coming here to share your experiences with us. So please, if you could introduce yourself a bit.
Hi Astha and hi everyone. It's really great to be here and interact with all of you. So I really like this idea of hosting this series of like stories and bringing the cases to the general awareness. So it's a really great initiative. So to introduce myself, my name is Saurabh Prasad, and as Astha introduced, this year I graduated from IIIT Delhi in computer science. And after that, I joined Microsoft as a software engineer. And for the last 3 months, I have been working over there. Um, I enjoy playing chess and also did like most of the time, most of the theater parts when I was in school. And in the recent time, trekking is something which I have started enjoying a lot. And other than that, in my free time, I sometimes I like to read books and listen music and spend some time also watching a bit of web series. So that's all. Yeah.
Okay, so that's like you play chess as well. This is really amazing. I mean, you like literally do everything that I mean, I would say at least a computer science undergrad would want to do and achieve. Especially me being from tech background, I have also prepared for interviews, and I understand that the competition is so high, especially when you are in a college like IIIT Delhi, where students are themselves very brilliant. So the competition is very high, but like seeing people like you, it especially inspires me. It was like back in 2022 when my friend told me about you, and I was absolutely flabbergasted. And then I think it's an honor for me to even like talk to you. And I so wanted to record this despite the fact that I'm kind of like traveling. I mean, up and down, but still I wanted to do this because I think it's an like a learning experience for me as well to know about your experiences. So if you could tell me a bit about your schooling, like where you are from and where did your schooling from, and something about that, and how did you start your JEE preparation? What motivated you to actually choose a career in tech, I would say?
I think you have asked a lot of things just in a single question. I'll try to go one by one.
Okay, sure.
So to start with, I come from a small district called Chatra, which is in Jharkhand,
Okay.
and like for the initial few years, I was doing my studies from the local school only. But soon we realized that it was a bit difficult because of the lack of resources and also lack of training among the teachers about how to teach a student with visual needs. So in that case, at that time, we started exploring for some special school, and one of the school which was available, it is called Saint Michael School, based in Ranchi. So we went and got admission over there. In the initially they asked me to learn Braille and then continue, but as everyone was doing, I was also supposed to do. So I learned Braille, and after that they promoted me to second, then fourth, and after that fifth. But in the regular school, when I was in my village, I had completed till third. So there was a gap of like 1 or 2 years, and I wanted to cover that. I said, "Oh, hey, can you please promote me upward?" They said, "No, it's not possible." So then we started exploring for some other school, and I like forced my parents to help me get admission in one of the school, which is located in Dehradun. It's called National Institute for the Empowerment of Person with Visual Disability, as per the latest name, NIEPVD. So
Okay.
there in 2013, we were trying to apply, but there were some incidents related to Kedarnath incident, and I hope you remember that incident.
Yes, yes, you can.
So my parents were very much reluctant to send me over there, and they said, "Okay, you continue this year. We'll see next year if that works. If next year if situation allows, we'll help you get over there." So I said, "Okay, no issues. I'll manage one more year." So in 2013, I stayed in Ranchi only. Okay. Yeah, so that was the time when, like I applied again for the admission in 2014, because last year I could not go due to that incident. And this time we applied for class 8. I went there, there were like around 21 students, and just three of us got admission after the entrance test and interviews and everything. So we were really happy at the time, because that was something like when I was going to start a new school, and again with the same pace as other like my mates were doing. So in class 8, I started, but I was not aware about the upcoming hurdles which were already waiting over there. So every subject I was able to manage very well, but in mathematics, there was a huge gap because I could not study 6th and 7th grade. So eventually landing into eighth without having the knowledge about all the concepts, it was really a nightmare for me at the time. But again, there were like teachers and other students. Like I kept on taking help from my seniors, and like in the like, special schools, it is one of the provision that from class ninth there was a flexibility to choose either music or Sanskrit, or you can choose math and science till class 10. So this was an option available from class 9
Okay,
onwards.
there was an option between math and science.
No, no. There were two options. On the one side, math and science. On the other side, music and Sanskrit.
Okay, so you're saying that either
Yeah.
a child could use math and science or music or Sanskrit, right?
Yes,
Mm,
yes. This is
okay, okay.
this is
Mhm.
this is one of the
And
like
this
provision
is
which is followed.
around for the standard ninth, right? Ninth
Yes,
standard.
yes.
Okay, okay, got it,
Yeah.
got it.
So, because if you go back at that point of time, there were not much resources available. So many students found it hard to pursue the subject. So they gave this flexibility to pursue just Sanskrit and music from ninth onwards. So like this was the provision, but I was also thinking like let's somehow like just clear class 8, and after that I'll shift to the music side, and then I'll continue. So that was the opinion, but as the time progressed, I kept on, like putting my efforts, and gradually I saw that everything, whatever was available through the books, and also from my senior's help, through my senior's help, I was able to manage the subjects and also scored well. At the end, I got first in eight. So that was, one of the time, but what I think was the turning point for my life, because I was deciding something, I was thinking something else, but with the consistent effort, I was able to make that change. And from ninth onward, I chose math and science as the subjects that I had to go with.
I
So
just
ninth
have one
onward, like,
question here.
yeah,
Your
sure, sure.
teachers, they were like they were also like were they people who were like normal people who understand Braille, or like how they were? Because I mean, I remember that in some schools, even the teachers, because they can communicate well as compared to
No, no. Actually, I'll tell you the concept. The thing is that the teachers who are allotted to a special school, they have to do a special B.Ed or special D.Ed, and
Okay,
they are specialized in the training how to teach the students with visual need, or it belongs to any particular disability. So for
okay,
that, they are given special training for that. So it doesn't matter whether the teachers themselves are visually impaired or they are sighted people, but they are given appropriate training before they come to the classroom to teach students.
okay, okay, okay. Got it,
Yeah.
got it.
Even that time we were using a lot of tools and our books to understand things. So it was no more a bigger challenge for me. After that, like it as I progressed, it became very easy. And one of the common pattern that you observed was that many students who were like in ninth and tenth along with me, they most of them were focusing on preparing for the UPSC or government jobs or any of the other things which relates to the humanities background, but no one was really interested to explore the science after 10th.
Okay.
So this was something that came to my mind, and I like prepared myself mentally that I have to go with the maths only after 10th. But
Mm.
again, 11th and 12th were available over there, but there was not an option to pursue math and science with that school from 11th onwards.
Okay.
Only humanities subjects were available. So after
Okay.
I passed my class 10th, I requested my principal to help me for that, but they said, okay, you just talk to your parents and see if you can get admission. So at that time, like I came to Delhi and gave some entrance test as well, and I qualified. But due to some issues, like my parents also didn't agree, and they said, okay, no issues, you just continue with humanities background, and it will help you prepare well for UPS and all. So they lift me again back to NIB, like NIEPBD in Dehradun, and I started continuing from July only. But again, the turning point came when on one of the days I frankly went to the principal and I said, I really want to continue the science stream. Show me some way if you can guide me. Otherwise, like I am planning to go to Delhi. So I said, okay, I have contact to one of the organization called National Association for the Blind. They will help you get enrollment and they will also provide you some support for the accommodation as well if you need. I was very happy. Okay, okay, I'll go there then. So I booked the bus and I came to Delhi and I told them that hey, I want to get admission with science background. It's not available in our older school, so can you help me get that? So
Mm-hmm.
they said, okay, we have already talked to your principal and we'll guide you. So then I went to the school and my entrance happened and everything, and I qualified the entrance test, and this is how
Okay.
I got admission into Tagore International School now.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So now, again, like when you come to 11, already there is a lot of pressure because every student,
Yes, there's a drastic change. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
each child in your class 11th is going to some coaching classes, having rigorous, practice for all the questions. And also there was a huge, mindset of preparing for something called IITs or NITs, or going into,
Yes.
or like purpose was to land into some good
Mm-hmm.
university. That was
Mm-hmm.
that was one of the
Mm-hmm.
methods. But for me, the change was that earlier I was in a Hindi medium school, now in an English medium school. Earlier I was studying through by using Braille, and now I was transitioning into the digital, using digital tools like laptop and like digital methods. Like in the classroom, all the students were using their own methods, like their pen and paperwork. But when I had to submit my worksheet or the answer sheet, I used to keep a pen drive with me. At the end of the class, I'll paste the answer sheet in the pen drive. I'll give it to the teacher. They will evaluate and they will give me back.
Okay.
So this
Mm-hmm.
was the common practice that we were following.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also in 12th also there were a lot of like some of the challenges related to the concepts which are mostly visual, like if you remember organic chemistry or also
Yes.
in
Mm-hmm.
physics when you have to draw a lot and understand
Mm-hmm.
stuff and while solving the questions. So at that time I found it difficult, but again with the help of some of the volunteers from IIT, they helped me by providing me tactile diagrams, and also my
So,
teachers were
like,
really
what
helpful.
tools you were using exactly at that point? I mean, if I talk about like exactly what tools were you using to study?
Yeah, so for studying, just a laptop was sufficient to understand the concepts and to read books. But when it comes to understanding the
So you
diagrams
used
and
screen reader, I think, right?
yeah, in a laptop we use screen reader. There are a couple of them,
Mm-hmm.
like one is JAWS, NVDA. So at that time I was using JAWS, but like
Okay, so there
recently
are a
I
couple of
like
softwares that
oh
you were using which helped you to, like because
yes,
I'm curious to know about the diagram part, especially. How did you
yeah, so
tackle
the
that?
diagrams are not actually explained by the screen reader, because
Mm-hmm.
nowadays
Of
we
course.
have a lot of AI tools which does this part to some extent. But at
Mm-hmm.
that time, like there were not rarely some facility available to like decode the diagram. So for that, I was highly dependent upon my teachers and my friends, of course. So
Okay.
they helped me understand diagrams and get to understand the concepts and solve questions.
But
So
I'm
during
like imagining how would you solve a physics problem, like a numerical physics problem, JE level, without, you know, like, I mean, I
so
especially feel because
ultimately.
Mhm.
Yeah, ultimately it's the diagram that you have to visualize, right? And if you
Yeah,
can't, there is a tool called tactile board. So I used to have it during exams. So I would ask
okay.
the reader to draw sketch that diagram. So when you sketch it, it comes into an imposable format that you can touch and feel. So
Oh,
I
okay.
was
Okay.
using like I was taking that sort of
Okay,
help a
okay.
little bit
Yeah,
when
this is what I was
we were
asking you
possible.
about. Okay, okay,
No,
got
no,
it.
and one more thing I want to clarify over there. This was what I was doing for my school exam. But when it comes to board with CBSE, so what they do is they provide alternative question instead of the diagram-based questions.
Okay,
So CBSE
okay,
has this provision to provide alternative questions instead of the diagram based, so that everyone is able to solve that questions without having to bother much about what the diagram is. And so they were not giving too much diagram heavy questions. The questions which were diagram related, they would put some alternative questions for us relating to the same concept. So
okay.
then we'll have to solve. For example, there was one chapter on LPP, linear programming in class 12,
Mm-hmm.
where you have to draw graphs. So
Mm-hmm.
for that, they used to give some inequality related equations and we had to solve.
Okay.
So this is just one example how they would, change the concepts or the questions.
Okay, but it's really good to know that, even like ICSE and I'm not sure about ICSE, although because I'm from ICSE board, but CBSE board has provisions. They consider all these things, so which is very good. Because at least I was
Yeah.
unaware, and through this, why I was so motivated to be part of Unstoppable is because I wanted to understand that what are the standards the society is following to help people, because we need to know, so that we are the future engineers. We also want to build tools, right? So I was very curious. So, that whatever, maybe 1 hour a week or 2 hour a week I could spend, I want to understand it, how these things work. And I think this is today I am actually learning a lot from you, because it's for the first time that I'm hearing names of these softwares, and, that even CBSE provides separate questions. So these are the things that I was unaware of. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
so there are provisions because CBSE is eventually like handled by the like all the provisions made at NCERT level. So
Okay.
whatever they provision, it comes to the circular, and then they issue the guidelines to other schools.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
this is how they have been following, and this is actually becoming helpful for everyone
Yeah.
while
Yeah.
they are giving their exams. Yeah, so from there, like I completed my 12th, and after that, I also qualified JEE Mains. So just to tell you that in JEE Mains, there is no separate provision. We have to solve the same question which is given to everyone.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
I gave JEE Mains and I qualified that exam, and I got, I guess, around 93 point something percentile at the time, and which was much more sufficient for me to get enrollment into one of the colleges which I got
Hmm.
like triple IT Delhi,
Hmm.
and
Triple IT
like
Delhi is one of the top colleges, top companies come there, and it's like a dream for so many students, and still, like, so many people like us, we cannot, like so many people of my batch, they couldn't make it there. But, it just feels amazing to,
yeah, but
that's what
one
I
of the
was
good
telling you
thing
when I
was that,
first heard about
yeah,
you. Hmm. That,
yeah, one of the
there's
good
this
things
student.
about, yeah, about triple IT is that they are mainly focusing on building strength and building concepts clear. The teachers are really focusing on
Hmm.
improving the concepts from the level, because the unlike other colleges here, the academic part is not that much that much easier. You'll have to work, you'll have to study in order to pass all your exams and in order
Hmm.
to perform well. Otherwise, it's
So,
not
was there
like
any
one day
special kind of
practice.
support that you get, like you got during your undergrad
So see,
studies?
there was a transition. By the time I came to the college, I already had a lot of awareness point of, and I was able to identify what exactly my needs are. So I
Hmm.
would
Hmm.
directly meet the professor and communicate my problems like exactly, and they were ready to provide. Some of the things that I would request them were to provide the slides into some readable format if available.
Hmm.
Secondly, during exams, to provide a reader. Third point, while they are explaining some concepts, to highlight the visual portion and to keep in mind that everything is communicated in an audible format, so that nothing is left. And even if after the class something is remaining, they would assign a personal teaching assistant who will help you understand the things if you have missed something. So this is how they
That's
helped
really
me.
amazing. That's like a,
Yeah,
like a
and it's
world-class
it's not
education
something.
experience that
Yeah,
you
it's
would. Hmm.
exactly, it's not something which is a standard in India, but Triple IT really, like, they followed these things, and I think that these are a few small helps, if followed in all other colleges, will be a great benefit for every student who have been enrolled
Yeah.
with the similar needs.
I think I don't think that government colleges in India like really follow all of that. But still,
Yeah,
like they have set like a standard. Like others can learn. Because it's definitely your hard work and experience which helped you. But at least you also kind of help them in improving to provide education in this way. So I feel that your role is also very important there, because you were adamant to learn, and which is why you had so much of knowledge which you shared, and then is when I feel the things went by.
yeah, so actually these needs may vary person to person, but if you are able to like communicate your needs clearly,
Hmm.
and if the like institute understand themselves and is responsible to provide the support, they will be able to do that. But I know a lot of cases wherein other colleges, the administration was not really open to providing support, and they were saying we don't know how to help, we don't know what to do.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
in that
that is
case,
what I'm
they
talking
should,
about. Yes.
yeah.
And
But
then
like they,
instead of it kinds of becomes a stigma for people that, I mean, in order to cross something or, have that breakthrough, should not be, I mean, of course, I mean, there is this thing that, the society will not be always be able to support you. But these are the basic things which people should, be able to consider when they are interacting, because, when you're saying that, we are not ready to teach you in this way, or we won't be able to, I mean, let's say a professor denies to prepare slides in that way, they don't realize the kind of negative impact they're having on the, the mental state, or I would say the potential of the person who wants to do it. Because then is when you start feeling, no, that this is my boundary, this is my limitation. So I feel it is very important that, people should understand that, if you cannot like actually, do something, I mean, if you're putting like 1 hour of extra effort, 2 hour of extra effort in changing your slides in, like a audible format, I think that's very helpful. Because, this is how the society grows. This is how, you become more inclusive. You don't make somebody feel special. It's like, you're bringing the inclusiveness here. So I think that's very important, because otherwise the student would feel that, this is my limitation and I will not be able to, move ahead of this. So I think that's very important to, make the society inclusive by, taking these measures and actually helping the needs of the student by listening to them. I think that is very important. So people, at least the teachers and the professors, especially the management, should be very, inclusive, and they should at least listen. I don't think that it requires a lot of budget. It just requires some efforts, and fixes are possible even at, basic, I would say, level. That one alternative is what you are talking about, changing the slides to audible format. These would take like human effort. This will not take
Not
any
sorry, not in the audible format. Changing a slide into the readable format, like
readable
if
format,
they are
right?
providing.
Right. So, I mean,
Because in the
having better
slides, a lot
explanations
of
for diagrams as well, considering the fact what class comprises of, being more inclusive. So, this is what I'm talking. This is how, we can move towards having a more inclusive society where, everybody can, do anything, and they are not limited by whatever they have or whatever, they've been experiencing so far. So, I think teachers and professors play a very important role in that.
yes, that's right. And for that, just to inform everyone that we have a right called RPWD Act 2016, which specifies a lot of guidelines across various sectors like employment, education, or social impact. Around every sector, it has guidelines. So for education also, it mandates that every university must follow a set of provisions in order to accommodate person with disability and person without disability, so that they both can study
Mm.
together in an inclusive manner. And this setup has to be like initiated from the university side only. So this is one of the guidelines, and every college is bound to follow the rules. You think
But,
I'll share, yeah.
like you have tried to bridge a lot of gap. I mean, this is like, this is what the world needs. This is what human generation is moving ahead to, right? That, we solve our own problems, we find solutions. So you have those solutions in some way, which you don't know, but maybe see you, I mean, you came across these tools and you had the things because you were zealous. But let us say a child gave up at some point of time, and you never know that, it might help them. This is what we are trying to do here, no? With Unstoppable, that people who are in, all these professions, people who have disabilities, maybe they can take benefit. They can also, see and learn, because there is no particular platform for people, I mean, have you ever seen like a community where people like you are discussing their, things, and then each helping each other with stuff? So something like that.
Yeah,
That's really nice.
there are a lot of like groups and pages among us where they discuss the issue. So it's not something very
Not
new.
something that is very popular,
There,
I believe, right? Because even the family people, they need to know, they need to be aware of that. Let us say a child
yeah,
is in class 5 right now, they can benefit so much from your experiences starting onwards today, but their family needs to be
exactly,
aware of that, right? So
right,
that is what.
right.
Could you please tell me how and at what point did you decide that you want to pursue tech like a professional? And what are your plans? Like, what changes and impact would you like to have with your work in technology? And what tech stacks you like to work with? And I mean, you've been a developer for quite some time. So, like, your experience, like what tech stacks you like, and what you majorly like to work, what exactly feel like is it web app development or is it full stack? What is it exactly? So
Like choosing the tech career was not initially decided. The main right point where I wanted to challenge the scenario was to choose science after 10th. So I continued with my studies, and then everybody was preparing for IIT, so I did. And after coming to the colleges, like uh, uh, like a job was initially the top priority, not in the beginning, but yeah, after second year. So I got to do a couple of internships first with Saxo Bank in 2021, and in that year only, I qualified for the Microsoft intern in 2022. So I did that. And after completing the internship over there, I was given a PPO from their end. So this is how like I landed into this job where I am right now. And regarding the, my preference about the tech stack, I have fair idea about web designing, especially in the backend side, and also in the security part, like when it comes to web security and managing things. So in that area, I have done couple of projects, and currently I am working in the cloud side. So I'm working in cloud for now. Yeah, so that is about the present of tech and the you know the regarding the choosing tech as a career to proceed ahead. And
okay,
in the
okay,
upcoming part also, I wish to continue in the tech and learn more and more, develop my potential, and get to know about tech and the industry and overall. And in the long term, in the long run, I want to work for the accessibility improvement and to make every part of the process when it comes to uh, various aspects of our life, like when we use various applications, or like when we use various services, to make sure that there is sort of a common model which can be adapted by different companies to integrate accessibility in their products.
okay. And just trying to shed some light on your interview preparation journey. How was it for you? And what were the challenges there you faced? Because that, I mean, how did you do your DSA questions and practicing CP and all of that? And how did you prepare your resume so that, you get your first chance to interview with them?
Yeah, so when you are going as a fresher, you don't have any prior experience. So all you
Yeah.
have is some of the projects that you have done as a course project. So I would
Hmm.
include some of the projects that I did during my foundation of computer security related course, and some of the other courses like in machine learning. Also, I did some of the projects. So I would primarily include projects which I have done as a course project part, and also information about some of the hackathons that I participated earlier. So I would include these details. And of course, when you're going for the first coding test, you have to practice a lot of DSA and those things. So for that, I prepared like with Lead Code and Geek for Geeks along with some of my other friends who were doing the preparation along with me.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I think that was really interesting. Just to conclude, I wanted to know if you have any messages for students, and if you have any messages for how we can make society more inclusive for people, for youngsters who are trying to delve into different fields, and what messages do you have?
So I think in the messages part, I don't have to say much. Just one thing is there, that consistency is required in whatever field you are working. You have to put effort, and you'll get to see the results earlier or later. But at the end, it will be worthy for you if you keep on working targetedly for whatever field you are preparing for. But in the inclusivity part, yes, I would say that. Whenever you get to face some person with disability or some person with special needs, you have to be I mean, there has been a lot of stigma where people just come and they try to be very very polite, but consider and have this thing in mind that even if you try to be over supportive or over polite, that
Mm,
also make them feel isolated from the general public. So instead
yes.
of instead of behaving too good or being too good or being too bad, just be normal as you be with other people. So that is
Yes.
something which is required for everyone, to not be considered more than a human or less than a human. Just
Mm.
you consider everyone. So that equality part is required. And in the attitude part, if that comes, I think most of the problems will be solved, and they will also consider any. I mean, it will help everyone to get accommodated to the environment where they are staying. So that is a really good step in accepting inclusive at any place.
That was really wonderful. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time and helping us record this. And I hope that more individuals get inspired from you, because I personally think that it is an opportunity for me to interact one on one with you. Thank you so much, and yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you for coming
Yeah,
today.
same. It's my pleasure to be here, and thanks for taking this initiative.
Yeah.